That's what glass sounds like.
We didn't break it.
I'd like to propose a toast.
Welcome to Wines and Dolls, a podcast where Chelsea and Emily whine and talk about musicals. Welcome.
Wine is a double entendre.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Woo! 2020.
I see our future is 2020. In 2020.
Shut up. Go away.
There's some sight joke that I'm trying to make, and I'm not making it.
Probably.
I tried to make a joke to Regina last night where I ripped off my monster fingers. And the joke was, I handed her one of the fingers, and I go, I just gave you the finger. But I delivered it all wrong. And instead I go, hey, Regina, I'm giving you a finger. Fuck.
Damn it.
I'm giving you the finger.
A finger fuck.
I gave you the finger. This was all wrong. I don't know what the champagne is. We're drinking champagne. It's New Year.
It's Prosecco.
This is the first episode
We're drinking
of 2020.
La Vostra.
La Vostra. It looks like a La Marca bottle, but
It does,
it's
but
not.
it's purple. And then we also put, what do we put in it?
Oh, I put the Fortnum & Mason Cassis in it. I didn't tell you how long I've been holding on to that.
It's a fancy word for blueberry or
It's
blackberry,
blackberry currant.
with alcohol stuff in it.
Yeah.
How long did you hold on to that?
I'm not going to tell you. Hey, Chelsea.
Hey, Emily.
What are you doing, first of all?
I am writing down all of the topics that I got for our mini-sodes from people on Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting them in a bowl right now. You know what? I think I know what I'm going to whine about today.
We don't complain on this show. We whine.
We whine. Today I'm going to whine about my body falling apart. So, Emily, you don't know this yet because you're not in your 30s, but
Oh, yeah.
soon you will be.
What's it like?
Then you'll know what it's like.
I feel like I'm
to fall
probably
apart.
almost there.
I mean, I'm sure you know what it's like to fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
Physically.
So many times.
So many times.
This arm is actually sewn on.
Holy hell.
No, it's not.
Well, okay, I believe you.
I know you
Guys,
did.
you don't even understand. If you were a Patreon member, you could have gotten this on video. Her acting is like, Emily's acting is dead on. I really was convinced that this bitch had her arm sewn on. Today I'm going to whine about my body and how it's falling apart. After 32 years and a lot of children's theater, it's just falling apart this year. I had a pinched nerve issue a couple years ago because I moved some set pieces back when I was still a theater teacher. I moved an 8-foot pylon by myself for one act play. Yeah, because I was dumb.
That's dumb.
But
You're also
it was very
5
dumb.
feet tall.
I'm 5'2". Thank you very much, and I have no strength. So I actually, back when I first pulled this muscle or pinched this nerve, I was kind of in pain, kind of achy on my way out the door, and I was like, "Oh, this hurts, man! My neck is really killing me." And then in the car, I sneezed really hard, and it really hurt. Like I could not move. I was crying. I had to have help getting in and out of bed. So basically I laid in bed for 2 days and I got better. So now, fast forward to I'm 32 now. That was when I was 29 or 30. And I'm getting this problem with the pinched nerve. It's coming back like almost every other month, and I'm really concerned because I've got a lot of shows coming up. I am like having to consistently go to my chiropractor. But on the days that this pinched nerve issue comes back, I can't walk. Yeah, I feel like I'm just falling apart now. I go every week to my chiropractor. When I'm in crisis mode, she sees me twice a week. But shout out to King Chiropractic. But yeah, I'm just complaining about my body falling apart. And I've been sick a lot too recently.
Look at that body.
No, I can't twerk my body because then it hurts my lower back. What are you whining about today, Emily?
It's a good wine. Start,
Ooh.
2020. Start positive.
Oh, were we supposed to do that? Okay. My bad.
So your body is falling apart, but you're still pretty.
But I'm
so there's
still
your
pretty.
Positive. Yeah,
I had a great audition today.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my positive.
You're positive. You're
What-
whining about positive.
What are you whining about?
What am I whining about? Well, it's both happy and sad. There's a costume shop called Party Boy. Party Boy is like, it's like Party City on crack. But it also has a costume warehouse in the back. Before Halloween, they announced that they were going out of business. And then to my surprise, they're actually still in business come December. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I went in and got a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I got probably $100 worth of stuff for $20 for my performance that I had last night at the Brad's Way.
Woo!
Hey, Regina. We're going to make that part of the drinking game.
Yeah.
Every time we say...
Take a drink,
every
because
time
we
we
said
say
Regina's
Regina.
name.
Regina.
All right, I'm going to take a drink.
We all take a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. And while I was there, I ran into a fellow Houston performer, Ben, who is, he juggles and he does...
While you were at Party Boy?
Well, I was at Party Boy,
Party Boy.
and he goes, did you hear about the costume sale in the back? And I'm like, no.
Costume sale?
And he's like, we're going to go back there. Apparently, all the costumes are $5 on the floor.
Up.
And I was like,
wait to go
excuse me,
tomorrow.
what? And I looked at him, I was like, I can't go. I don't have any money. I have no contracts next year. I went back there, and I call Chelsea, and I call...
Which I was sick in bed.
She was sick in bed. I called Chelsea. I call Classical Theater Company.
Mm-hmm.
I call Hits Theater. I call all the costumers.
Everybody.
I call everybody. I'm like, y'all need to get here now, because they're $100 to rent costumes are $5,
Which is crazy.
and if you can fill
Crazy.
a rack, like a big Z rack, they would give you that rack, I think, for $200, which was $600 worth of costumes.
Oh my God.
I left spending $50, and half of it was for Hits spring production, because the costumer asked me if I could pick some stuff up, and they had a whole bunch of like small child size costumes. So I got some stuff for their spring productions, and then I bought myself a Queen of Hearts costume because I just felt like
you
I
said you
I
didn't
needed
need
it.
one.
I needed one.
You have several, though,
No, I don't.
right?
No,
Oh,
no.
you don't?
There's a role that I play, which it's near and dear to my heart. It is typecasting to its best. It's me as the Queen of Hearts.
Because she's such a bitch.
Such a bitch. I'm just stubborn and know what I want.
Do you? Hey, Chelsea, we're going to do this podcast.
And I'll edit it. Just show up with the wine.
Just show up with wine. I've been bad at even showing up with wine.
Chelsea,
Emily.
what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Thoroughly Modern Millie. Because, every day everything today is thoroughly modern. Check your personality. Every day, everything today makes yesterday slow. Better face reality. We're at
I like how you
we're
messed
singer.
up the same part twice.
I can't. Why is my brain not braining
It's okay.
today? When I went to go do my research and get the synopsis written down about 20 minutes ago, I thought I could just easily wing it and talk about Thoroughly Modern Millie because I've been in the show, but I realized I spent so much time not on stage, I didn't actually know what happens in a good portion of the show.
Oh, yeah. She was like, there's this part where I didn't realize this happened. I was like, that's literally what leads to this next part.
I'm like, are
in
you
the
sure they didn't
show.
cut that out
And
of the stage?
Well, when I was in it,
version?
I was a dancer. And so
The
I was a
dancers
dancer
are, like,
and
in
chorus.
everything.
It was everything.
Yeah.
So, it was my favorite. It was my first musical that I was
Really?
ever in. Mm-hmm. I still perform the tap numbers from when I was in it. The same tap numbers I perform even here. I have performed them 3 times in Houston.
If you listened to our mini-sode, you heard about how I got this part. Miss Dorothy.
Chelsea got her wisdom teeth out. She was on drugs. She accepted the role. They asked her if she could tap. She said yes.
I said, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The most drug-induced yes that there ever was.
Anyway. You going to give us some background on
yeah.
this show?
Yes, I would love to. If I can say all the words.
Words are hard.
Words are really hard. I went to 4 elementary schools and 3 middle schools and 2 high schools and lived in a lot of states and in 2 different countries. So my accent reading words is really hard.
Like chrysanthemum.
Shut up. My source is Wikipedia.
Woo!
So yeah, Thoroughly Modern Millie. It is low-key my favorite musical. Low-key like the God.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that joke back.
Mwah.
Need that on a t-shirt. Low-key like the God. Anyway, Thoroughly Modern Millie. So the music is by Janine Tesori. And lyrics are by Dick Scanlon. Stop.
Sorry, continue.
Doo-doo. It's going to make you laugh. And the book is by Richard Morris. and Dick Scallon. Stop. It's actually based on the 1967 film. The movie was a 1967 musical romantic comedy. It was directed by George Roy Hill, and it starred Julie Andrews. So the screenplay was by Richard Morris. And it was, the people who in it were, it was Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, that was Mary Tyler Moore.
Mary Tyler Moore, James Fox, John Gavin, Carol Channing, and Beatrice Lilly.
Can I just say, Carol Channing, just a star.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
She's such a star.
Jazz Baby.
I'm so sad Jazz Baby is not
I know,
in
it's
Thoroughly
not in
Modern
the-
Millie.
James Fox is like the foxy Jimmy. Guess when his birthday is?
Is it May 19th?
It's our birthday! Well,
our
by
birthday.
like 1939, but
Well, but whatever.
he's still kicking at 80.
Ooh, Taurus, baby.
So the musical, as I said, was based off of the movie, but the movie is actually based off a British musical called
Chrysanthemum.
So
She can't say chrysanthemum, so I'm saying it for her.
So the musical, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
So the British musical, Chrysanthemum. Oh, it happened. Bless. Which opened in London in 1956. Chrysanthemum. I could do it once. I can't do it again. I was saying I think I had a stroke at some point in my life.
And you just can't say
I just don't
certain
know.
words.
There's just some words. I think it's because I moved. I really do. I think it's because I moved and probably had some sort of like diction issue at some point in my life. I have a lazy tongue.
Yeah, maybe.
The musical is it's set in 1922.
This is
1922. The previews were actually at La Jolla Playhouse in San Diego, California, and that was in October 2000. And then eventually opened on Broadway April 18th, 2002. And it won 6 2002 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Duh, because it's the Best Musical.
It's a really good musical.
And because it was so successful, it went on a U.S. tour and also had a West End production that was in 2003, and then it had a UK tour in 2005. It is, I love this line that they have on Wikipedia. The musical has since become popular choice for high school productions. Haha. I was in the high school production of it.
Were you?
That's when I did it. It was in high school.
Oh, I didn't know that was high school.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Oh, that's cute.
However, the racial discrimination controversy of the musical has never stopped, being described as a piece that walks on the line between entertaining and highly offensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so is, like, Lend Me a Tenor. There's literally blackface in Lend Me a Tenor.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's good.
Well, and they always,
but...
and they post, like, usually when you do Lend Me a Tenor, there's a whole thing about the history of blackface and why we don't do it anymore. But it's part of, like, the comedy is that these white actors are putting on a black face to play Othello in the opera.
Yeah. There was recently a show where they cast Bun Fu and Ching Ho as Asian actors, right?
Yeah. Actually,
Because like there's a problem with people being cast as those characters, and that's where this
they
stems
want
from,
people
right?
to they want to cast them correctly, like
Yes, like-
ethnically correctly. I always compare Thoroughly Modern Millie to the musical that's being described in Drowsy Chaperone, where they're like,
Yeah.
it's like the racial kind of like questionable
Yes.
racial
yes.
jokes. There's always like a Chinese section, and then we think about Anything Goes that has the little I think the little Asian gangsters or something like that. That's in Anything Goes.
Well, and then like the whole premise of or the entire musical of The King and I.
yeah.
Like that's actually what they're making fun of in Drowsy Chaperone is The King and I. But with like the Emperor and it's very, very offensive in Drowsy Chaperone, but it's supposed to be because they're making fun of shows that have done racially offensive things in the past. So, but like Thoroughly Modern Millie, it's a tricky one because Mrs. Mears is supposed to be, you know, like she's a gang leader essentially.
But she's supposed to
from
be-
Hong Kong.
Oh, see, I
And-
thought that she was supposed to not actually be Asian, and that was like the whole thing was like she was acting as if she was Asian.
I mean, you could play it that way.
Maybe that's how we played it. It was
That
like
might be how. That's a smart way to play it.
yeah, like
but-
she's posing as someone who's Asian.
Because she was Mrs. Mears in the musical was an actress, but now she's an older actress who is aged out.
Yeah.
And but
It's
Bun
like the
Fu,
best like the best act of her life is that
Yeah.
she's able to pull off being Asian.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean I can see you playing it that way. Bun Fu and Xing Ho are supposed to actually be from Hong Kong, and like they don't speak English in the show, so they're singing all these lyrics in Chinese, and like their whole shtick is that they're working for Mrs. Mears to try to get their mother home or try to get their mother over from Hong Kong. So Mrs. Mears will pay for their mother to come over from Hong Kong. So like they're supposed to be Chinese, and 9 times out of 10. Those characters are not cast as
I think it also depends on like
Chinese
I
characters.
remember in high school we didn't really have we didn't have enough people of Asian descent auditioning for the musical.
Hell, you barely have enough men that ever
Yeah.
audition for anything.
Well, and I remember I think there was one of the guys might have been Hispanic and the other was white. But so the original cast recording, or the original cast on Broadway. Actually, this was cool. I was looking at the 1999 demo, and guess who demoed for Millie?
Was it Kristen Chenoweth?
It was Kristen
Yeah,
Chenoweth.
I know.
How did you know
Okay,
that?
I knew.
But the original Broadway 2002 cast was our girl, Millie Dilmont. Sutton Foster.
Y'all, if I could be anybody in the world and trade spots for a day, Sutton
be
Foster.
Sutton.
I would be Sutton.
Then Jimmy Smith is my man, Gavin Creel, who is low-key one of the reasons I even did musical theater. And I told him that. I had a big, long conversation with him outside Waitress because one of his best friends was my college professor. Mrs. Mears is Harriet Harris. That's a name.
That's a fun name.
Harriet Harris. That's original. Miss Dorothy Brown is Angela Christian. And then Mr. Trevor Graydon is Mark Kudish.
Okay.
He actually was also in the demo. Muzzy was Cheryl Lee Ralph, who girl can
Kills it.
sing.
She kills it.
When I sang
So hard.
Muzzy's parts for Broadway, I'm like,
When did you sing Muzzy for Broadway?
that's when when I tapped for Broadway.
Only in New York, or
I sang both the songs.
Yeah.
Then Miss Flannery is Anne L. Nathan, who I've seen her name before. And then Ching Ho and Bun Fu, they were the same as in the demo. So there's Ken and Francis. And they are Asian.
Mhm.
They are of Asian descent. Actually, one of them, I can't remember which one, was my friend from camp's English teacher. He originated the role, and then he went and taught English in like Chicago, Illinois.
That's badass.
Yeah. Then we have all the little ensemble-y dance roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
More champagne?
Yes, I want more champagne.
Here.
So that's all the background I have for you, and we're going to go pour some wine before Chelsea tells us about the Modern Millie.
Mentioned FU, and I'm like, heh, and I've mentioned Broadway, or we've mentioned. Let's just start.
Yeah, I
we're
recorded.
recording.
Oh, I just started.
Hey, so the shot glasses we have right now, we are shooting.
We're
what are we
about to take
shooting?
a shot. It's bathtub gin, which I was drinking a couple episodes ago.
Yes,
It's
that's right.
infused vodka, and it tastes like Christmas.
It smells like licorice, and the shot glasses we have say FU on them, like
From Furman.
F and U. Okay.
Like Furman University.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh. Oh boy. Hold on. Okay.
I've never shot that.
Oh, my mouth is on fire.
Fire.
My mouth is on fire. Anyway,
That's not how that goes.
we're gonna talk about the synopsis of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and now that I've had some more alcohol, it's gonna be good. So, like I said, I don't know if I said this.
Hold on.
I played Dorothy in Thoroughly Modern Millie, and Dorothy.
That was the shot.
We just took a shot.
They heard us take it.
They did. Dorothy is not on stage a hell of a lot. And I'm just now realizing this now that I'm looking at the synopsis. I'm like, oh, I really don't quite know this show. I do, though.
Now you do.
Now I do. We start with Millie Dilmont getting off the bus singing a song. Of course, the orchestration in the beginning is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, so good.
She gets off the bus and she sings Not for the Life of Me. So she's, like, I studied all the billboards and magazines and books. I memorized the subway map too. So she's talking about coming to New York for the first time and how much she loves it. And she's got this return ticket home to Kansas if she chooses to go back home to Kansas, if things don't work out, if she doesn't get a man, if she doesn't succeed in the city. And then she tears up the ticket and and continues singing her song. And then she sings Thoroughly Modern once she goes... Oh! This is when she's getting her bob. She goes off stage.
This is the quick wig change.
This is the quick change. She's getting into her 1920s outfit and getting a bob. 2 bags and 2 good. And we're all dancing around her. Then she comes back on stage after a few seconds of the chorus talking about her and about 1922 and how amazing New York City is in the 1920s. And she's got this whole new look. And she continues to sing, everything today is thoroughly modern, and continues going on. Exactly. And she's like, I'm a modern girl. I live in New York now. I'm going to get married to a man and have a wonderful life. And then the song... Because it's 1922. And then, like... She ends the song big, and then she gets mugged. And she loses her hat and her coat and her purse. And as she's getting mugged... What?
I forgot about the mugging.
Right? She gets mugged because she says later, who needs a hat? Who needs a purse? Who needs a coat? Anyway, as she's getting mugged, she's like trying to get help from people on the street. And that's how she meets Jimmy. Is she accidentally trips him asking for help. And he's like, what the fuck? And
note to self, how to get a man.
How to get a man. You trip them in a panic. So Jimmy is this beautiful, carefree, handsome man that she just literally stumbles upon. Quite literally.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. And he basically tells her when he meets her, she's like, I love New York. I moved here for all my hopes and dreams. He's like, you're just a stupid girl with hopes and dreams, and that's it. You should go back to Kansas before it's too late, and the city, like, eats you alive. And I feel that. Then she says, fuck you, Jimmy, as he walks away, and she's like, not for the life of me. She'll sing that reprise as she walks away from Jimmy, who's just told her to go back to Kansas. She goes to Hotel Priscilla, where she looks for a room, and Mrs. Mears says, yes, I will rent you a room. Mrs. Mears is an Asian lady. I'm not quite sure what the intention is, because when I did it, she was like full on supposed to be from Hong Kong. But you can play it as she is an actress playing this woman from Hong Kong.
If I were interpreting the role of Mrs. Mears, which would probably be the role I would get if I auditioned now and they wanted it this way.
You'd be a great Mrs.
Thank you. It's because I'm funny.
You're fucking hilarious.
But if I were to get that role, the idea that I would go behind is that I would be an actress and who's washed up, and now the greatest role that I could play is pretending to be Asian and nice to get to lure these people in and essentially be a criminal. Let me
tell you guys what Mrs. Mears is all about. So Mrs. Mears runs a white slavery ring in her hotel, and she drugs these women who stay in her hotel. Anybody who's an orphan, she drugs them and ships them off for white slavery in Hong Kong and makes money that way. So that's effed up.
Yeah. A little bit.
A little bit. So anyway, that's all her. But she's an old actress. She's like played by an older female, and or somebody who can play older. And you can play older. You have this maturity to.
Also, the way that Mrs. Mears is in my head, that old making fiends, we're all making fiends. It's like it was a website. Oh, maybe it was just me in Illinois.
It's just you in Illinois. So Mrs. Mears is supposed to be this older actress, washed up, and she's really jealous of all these young women who are coming to New York to try young beautiful women
like
coming
us.
To New York trying to be actresses, like us.
We both just flipped our hair.
So she drugs them and sells them off to white slavery in Hong Kong. So then, enter the scene Miss Dorothy. That
Miss
was
Dorothy?
me.
Is that you?
Miss Dorothy.
Miss Dorothy?
Miss Dorothy.
Dorothy?
Dorothy.
Where are they
And
from?
Miss Dorothy is rich. So Dorothy
Okay.
meets Millie, and Millie has just been told by Mrs. Mears, you haven't paid rent, you need to get out. And so Millie is like trudging back up to her apartment, and she runs into Dorothy.
Wait, I love Dorothy's intro song.
This is living. This is what I call
I
living.
was gonna play it, but you just did it
I
better.
hunger
So
for a day when heaven knows when, year after year with a secret yet. All of my cares, all my desires, every waking moment with my heart on fire. Give me the milk, but hold the honey. I'll take the funny money woes.
okay.
Anyway, so Dorothy enters this scene. I can't believe I can sing that song while I'm drunk. And meets Millie, and Millie's like, well, I'm poor, but I want to be rich. I'm going to marry a rich man someday. And Dorothy's like, I'm poor. I don't know. God,
I'm rich.
I'm rich, but I want to live like I'm poor. So I'm here living with you in Hell's Kitchen, essentially. And so they sing a duet where she's like, it's called How the Other Half Live. And they're tap dancing in the elevator getting up to their floor. So Millie decides to ask Dorothy to move in with her because Dorothy can pay for rent. Well, Mrs. Mears hears that there's a new woman that wants to come live at Hotel Priscilla, and that Dorothy wants to live with Millie. And she's like, oh, no. You're really cute. You're going to get the beautiful sunny corner apartment right next to Millie because she wants to kidnap. Of course, she doesn't want to kidnap Millie because Millie's not cute enough. But she wants to kidnap
and
Dorothy.
Millie has the big family.
Yeah, Millie has a big family that she talks about from Kansas that can check up on her. But
Yeah.
Dorothy, as far as Miss Mears knows, has no family. So,
What did she say? Sad to be alone in the
Sad to be
world.
alone
I
in
think
the
it's in the
world.
movie. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's in the musical.
No, it's in the musical.
It
It is
is.
in the musical. So Dorothy lives right next door to Millie. She gets to move in. So that's the tap routine that I was talking about that they started to teach me, and I was like,
Should we do a triple time step?
I don't know how to time step, y'all.
In a flat ball change?
I have learned how to time step since then.
Wing trenches?
So anyway, Dorothy moves in, and because this corner lot has become available suddenly, anyway, and then
Corner apartment.
corner apartment has become apparently available. So then we find out about these two other characters, Ching Ho and Bun Fu. They work for Mrs. Mears, and they are helping her drug the women that she's kidnapping, and they put the girls in the laundry bin and take them away to Hong Kong for the white slavery trade. So these guys, the only reason they work for her is because they want to raise enough money to get their mother over from Hong Kong to America.
Oh, I didn't know that was the reason.
I didn't either until I read the synopsis, because apparently Moo King, was it Moo King, the song that they sing? It's Not for the Life of Me, but in Chinese. Moo Ching. So that song is talking about their mother.
Oh,
Right? I didn't realize that either.
Because they sing Not for the Life of Me in Mandarin, I think.
In Mandarin,
Yeah,
yeah, they
let's
do.
hear it.
小笑调，电打鼓，乖乖不再回家了，只生活我不要，生活要比。
So they actually sing in Chinese. So next scene is we get the speed test song. Millie goes in. I know, she goes to Sincere and Trust and looks for a job here as a stenographer. I had no idea what a stenographer was until I did the show. So Millie goes looking for a job and a husband at Sincere Trust, and she meets Trevor Graydon. And he's gorgeous, and he's the boss at Sincere Trust. And so she's singing this song. This after she gets the job, of course. So he puts her through this whole test of typing. So it's a patter song, and he sings this patter song to her as she's supposed to be taking notes and then typing it up. And it's really awesome, really fast, and it gets faster and faster throughout. So Millie gets the job at Sincere Trust, and she's like fallen in love with her boss.
Of
and
course.
At the end of the song, she's like, you can call me Millie Graydon. I mean, Dillmount. Someday Graydon. So anyway, she's like, I'm going to marry my boss.
Graydon, Dillmount, Dillmount.
Dillmount, Graydon, Dillmount. Graydon. Ah! So then we cut to the next scene. Ching Ho is attempting to capture Dorothy with an apple that he has drugged. But then he sees her for the first
Snow
time.
White of him.
It's very Snow White, right?
Yeah.
But he sees Dorothy and he falls in love with her. Ching Ho falls in love with Dorothy. And he's like, I love you, Miss Dorothy. And so she's got this apple in hand, and then Millie rushes in to tell her that she got the job at Sincere Trust, and her boss is super cute. I don't know if she actually says that. I don't remember. But
Super
then,
cute. Definitely a 1922 term.
Whatever. Super cute.
Super cute.
Super cute.
Oh my god.
So
Such a thought.
So Dorothy doesn't bite the apple. She doesn't eat the poisonous apple thing, so it like drops to the ground. Anyway, Ching Ho is like super relieved because he doesn't want her to go off into slavery, white slavery. So they go to celebrate, but before they celebrate, Mrs. Mears is like, oh, congratulations, great, have fun. She's really disappointed she didn't catch Dorothy. So she sings a song they don't know, and she talks about her bitter feelings towards these women.
It's my new audition song.
I feel like you should all the time sing
All
this
the
song.
same.
About these young auditioners coming in and taking our spots. They don't know.
My flair for the dramatic.
Dramatic, you don't know.
Not a clue.
Not a clue. A talent I possess.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty girls,
girls.
but not much in the attic.
Oh man.
Face to face with genius. And I never guess.
And they haven't listened to this podcast
No.
to know the genius that was us. Chelsea just put her tongue out.
All you young singers, you little
singers.
whippersnapper.
No.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 26.
God damn it.
I am a young
You are the
whippersnapper.
young whippersnapper taking you're taking all my jobs. So anyway, she sings her song, and Millie and Dorothy, I'm going to take another sip. Millie and Dorothy run off to go celebrate Millie's new job. They go to this speakeasy. Remember, folks, it's 1922, and alcohol is illegal.
Prohibition era.
Alcohol's illegal, and you're not supposed to drink it, but they go and they drink it.
In history.
And there's a beautiful, like, alcohol ballet.
Nutty Cracker Sweet.
That's what it's called, the Nutty Cracker. I just
Yeah.
love that so much. It's so cute.
Oh, it's so good.
By the way, I still have the costume in my closet. They go out to celebrate, and Millie and Dorothy run into Jimmy. Oh my God. And Jimmy, so they get thrown in jail. The police raid the club that they're in. And it's Prohibition era, so they're not supposed to be drinking, but they've all been drinking, so they all go to jail.
Shame.
So then Jimmy realizes when they get out of jail that he's in love with Millie, like in love. So,
No.
so he's like, oh my God, what slap? What do I need with love? Because he's like starts it off as a love ballad, and then he like smacks himself and he's in the face, and he's like, what? No, I can't be in love. And he's like, no, I don't need love. I got myself.
What do I need with
What do I need with love?
love?
Which, by the way, I made James sing, and he rocks it. Anyway, love that
Aw,
song for
James.
him. Love that song for you, babe.
We need to drink every time we mention James.
Ready, set, go.
I'm out of alcohol.
I would like to show you.
Gavin Creel, just
Ugh.
let me pet your dog and we'll talk. His like actual dog. His like golden
I
retriever.
thought you meant like his penis. Do you want to pet his penis? I have a funny feeling we make a perfect pair. Anyway,
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Gavin.
so then Jimmy invites Millie and Dorothy to a party at his friend's
Mm.
house, Muzzy Von Hosmer's house. She sings Carol Channing. She sings only in New York and not Jazz Baby, which makes me really sad. So Jazz Baby.
Quite honestly, I don't know how many women alive could actually sing that song.
I sing that song.
Okay.
I sing that with the 1920s band that I sing with. We're called Chelsea Lerner and the Wise Guys. So they go to Muzzy's party, And Millie tells Jimmy just like offhandedly, oh yeah, I'm in love with my boss. I'm going to marry him. Maybe not in love, but I'm definitely going to marry him because he's rich. And I really want to marry a rich guy. And he's like, what do you need a rich guy for? And then he kisses her. And she realizes, oh God, I think I might have some feelings for Jimmy, which is the next song. Jimmy, oh Jimmy, silly boy, gee, what a real swell guy. So then Millie, she's in love with Jimmy now, like knows what love is. And she comes home to the Hotel Priscilla and she hears Dorothy and Jimmy talking in Dorothy's room. And Dorothy says, Jimmy, we can't do that. She's my best friend. And then she sees Jimmy sneaking off out of Dorothy's room. And she's like, fuck Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then it's intermission.
And with that,
I have to pee.
we are taking intermission.
I love that your dog Olive just jumped after like a series of questions. Olive, are you a good girl? Olive, do you love me? Olive, do you love wine? Olive, do you want to record? She did not move from her little spot until, Olive, you want to record? As soon as Emily said record, Olive's like, yes. Olive wants to record.
Record? Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff.
That's Olive. She's the sweetest little puppy.
Sniff, sniff.
Okay, welcome back. We're on Act 2 of Thoroughly Modern Millie. I'm looking at my notes.
Act 2.
Millie
Intro.
is at work at Sincere Trust, and she sings Forget About the Boy because she is really pissed off at Jimmy at this
No
point.
canary in a cage for me.
This canary's ready to fly free.
Fly free, honey.
Fly free, honey. So she's surrounded by a bunch of women who are tapping.
Twist off wine.
In Act 2, she goes to work, and all the women around her are complaining about their ex-lovers as well. They're singing Forget About the Boy, and there's this whole big tap number where the stenographers, or all of the stenographers at this corporation, are tapping and typing, and it's such a cool number.
I guess that's true because they do that in speed test, and that's like the whole thing about speed
They do.
test.
It's a big tap number. So like Forget About the Boy is, you know, like all the other stenographers are like, yeah, I fell in love with my boss. Yeah, I fell in love with my boss. Yeah, I fell in love with my boss. Barney Shriver, CPA. And they're all like, you'll get over him. Don't worry. They all go back to their wives or whatever. But she's like, no, it's Jimmy. So she's, you know, mad about Jimmy. Anyway, so then Dorothy, who she's also kind of mad at, but is passive-aggressively mad at because she can't tell her why she's mad because she saw Jimmy leave her room. Dorothy comes over to see if Millie wants to go to lunch, and in the midst of that meets Trevor Graydon.
I love the beginning
Millie's
of
boss.
the song.
Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee.
Which, Sweet Mystery of Life is from another musical.
Well, it's in the original as well. It's in the movie.
It's in the movie?
It's in the movie. They do it. It's like
It's also from
it's underscoring.
Naughty Nanetta or something.
So they use that All Sweet Mystery of Life in the underscoring of like Bride of Frankenstein or something.
Yeah.
And I actually used it when I did the vagina monologues my freshman year of college, and I had the elegant orgasm. And I went, whoa, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee. And the whole like 2,000 person auditorium just like busted out. I'm like, yes, I am the funniest here.
The best part about this song is that Trevor Graydon, so when we staged it, Millie's desk is center stage, and then Trevor's on one side and Dorothy's on the other side of the desk, and Millie's sitting at her desk. She's trying to get Trevor's tennis court booked because he wants to go play tennis later. So every time he's like, oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee, it pauses and goes back to Millie talking in real life going, I need the tennis court for 5:15, and then it goes back to their love scene. Oh, at last I know the meaning of it all. Yes, tennis court. And then it goes back. Like the light change shifts.
Oh my god.
And goes back and forth between the song and reality. So Trevor Graydon and Dorothy are just having this like, they're just like locking eyes in reality, but they're having this whole like song happen between them. And Millie is at the desk booking this thing. So like at one point it goes, oh, the something, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the burning hopes and all the idle dreams that fall. She's like, balls. Talking about the tennis court. That's my favorite part.
I completely forgot.
Tennis balls. Anyway, so balls.
I had a nickel every time I said that.
Anyway, so they come back out of this dream sequence dance routine, and Millie's like, "Oh, Dorothy, this is my boss, Trevor Graydon," and they're already in love. So Graydon asks Dorothy on a date, and Millie's like, "Oh shit." And so
Fuck no.
And so they are supposed to go on this date, and she's like, "I'm gonna go get my hair done, maybe I'll bob it." And he's like, "Oh, don't do that to your beautiful hair, don't bob it." And Millie's sitting there with like a bob, you know, like
She just
oh,
cut off all her
shit,
hair,
I just
like,
cut off all my hair
45 minutes earlier.
Yeah, Dorothy's got these like beautiful curls, and he's like, "Don't do that to your beautiful curls." And she's like, "Oh, Trevor, oh." Anyway, so this is why I got the role, because I can hit it. I can hit a high D, and I can go, "Oh."
Oh my god.
That's why I got the role.
You can hit a D.
Yes, I can.
So you can hit that high D.
I get that D every time.
James is gonna smack us. I'm gonna
Anyway.
drink. We mentioned James.
Yo, yeah. Where's my drink? Here, James.
You're now a drinking game, James.
So is Regina.
And Regina.
Ah.
Smack my Lily glasses together.
Ooh, I'm drunk. Okay.
We're very Lily today. Lily
know we are.
Pulitzer. We have the ice bucket and my cups and your planner.
My tongue is
No.
swollen. So then they go on a date, and Dorothy runs off. She's gonna go get her hair done for the date, and
Her
Millie
hair
is
did.
Millie is brooding, and she's wounded, and she's like, "God damn it!" And then all of a sudden, Jimmy breaks in through the window. Yeah, at
Peter
her,
Pan?
At her job. Peter Pan? At her job. Jimmy breaks in through the window. And he's like, hey, I like you. And they sing Turn the Corner, and then slash a quartet with Trevor, Dorothy, Millie, Jimmy. So Jimmy and Millie are going to go on a date, even though she's mad at him. Dorothy and Trevor are supposed to go on a date. Fast forward. Mrs. Mears, Ching Ho, and Bun Fu in the next scene plan to drug Dorothy. This is the song called Mukin. M-U-Q-I-N. Muchin. Ready?
Everything seems
Lovely. And Mrs. Mears is convincing these guys. The birds are singing. She's also kind of reminding them that they want to bring their mother home from Hong Kong.
Let's see if I can get to. Ooh, shoot.
So Mrs. Mears is a master manipulator. Muchin.
But you know
No,
where
wow.
Taiyang best.
So they want to bring their mother back from Hong Kong, and she's manipulating them into. It's a really cute soft shoe that they're singing Muchin, and she's reminding them, hey, your mom wants to come over to America from Hong Kong, so you need to kidnap Dorothy. Don't fuck around. Don't fuck up. So then, fast forward to the next scene. Jimmy and Millie are at Cafe Society in the back washing dishes, because Jimmy has brought Millie to this beautiful, awesome place for dinner, and he can't pay for it. So they're washing dishes.
Scumbag.
They're washing dishes in the
Scrubbing
back.
scum. What a scrub.
What a scrub.
What a scrub it.
No, I don't want no scrubs. That's basically what Millie says, is a scrub is the guy who can't get no love from me, hanging on his passenger side of his best friend ride, trying to holler at me. Anyway, so
It's got
Millie
really long.
Millie is saying like, no, Jimmy, this sucks. We're washing dishes to pay for our meal because you can't pay for it. She just wants to marry a rich guy. And then this is all happening while Muzzy is performing at Cafe Society, Long as I'm Here With You.
Life is a holiday. I'm talking June through May. I love that song.
I do too.
Though I did never realize the lyric was cream.
Oh yeah, it's cream.
Cream
will rise.
Cream will rise.
Yeah.
And that weirded me out a little bit. I don't know what I thought it was, but it wasn't until I sang it that I was like, we're singing about
cream.
rising
Rising cream. I like it.
Make a latte.
So then, ding. So then Millie tells Jimmy basically, you're poor. I don't want to be with you. She goes and talks to Muzzy. And she's like, Muzzy, I don't know what to do. I want to marry a rich man like Trevor Graydon, but Trevor Graydon's not interested in me. And I'm kind of in love with Jimmy. I kind of am falling for him, but I don't want a green glass love. And that's the whole thing.
She wants emerald.
She wants emerald. She doesn't
Not
want a
fake
emerald, a green glass love. And Muzzy's like, well, go with your heart. And then she sings Gimme Gimme,
Gimme.
which is every belter soprano's favorite song ever. Give me Fat Boy's famous arrow. Oh, I broke your microphone.
You broke it a little bit. Okay, that's enough of Sutton.
I'm gonna drink more wine.
Our audio is going insane. I wish this is
Also,
why
I'm trying to sing along.
This
with
is why
it,
we
so-
need live stream because
Yeah, we
we're
do.
like we sat here and crumped on the couch.
We did. We just crumped on the couch to Sutton. How can you not crump to Sutton? So anyway, Sutton/Millie sings Gimme Gimme, where she, throughout the course of the song, realizes that she wants real love and not just money from a man. So she's like,
wants that green glass.
she wants that green glass love,
No
bitches.
emeralds for her.
No emeralds.
You can't tell the difference anyways.
Yeah, it's just the same.
Just
So she's like, I'm going to marry the poor guy. I love Jimmy. So she runs off. And just as she goes to talk to Jimmy to tell him her true feelings, she and Jimmy run into Trevor Graydon at the same club. He is drunk off his ass, much like we are right at this moment.
More so Chelsea. I
But-
can still write notes.
You know what? I have a less tolerance.
You're also 6 inches shorter than me.
James. I'm going to drink again.
Regina.
Shit. So Trevor Graydon is drunk off his ass at this club because he's just been stood up by Dorothy. He's so upset because he went to go pick up Dorothy from Hotel Priscilla, and Mrs. Mears was like, oh no, she suddenly checked out. I don't know. Dorothy just checked out today suddenly. And Millie realizes that, oh my God, all these other women that have lived around me and near me have suddenly checked out as well. Dorothy wouldn't do that. Something's up. I bet Mrs. Mears is up to something.
Mrs. Mears.
So,
fiends.
making fiends. So they decide to put Muzzy up, and Muzzy poses as an orphan to trick Mrs. Mears. So they convince Muzzy to go do this, but they don't really need to because Ching Ho has already rescued Dorothy.
Ching Ho.
I know, because he
Mooching's gonna be
loves
so
her.
proud.
Because he loves her
I hear
so
my
much.
dog walking around. Come on.
So Jimmy, actually, they don't need Muzzy to pose anymore because really, Dorothy gets rescued by Ching Ho. Ching Ho is the true hero of the show. Thank you, Ching Ho.
Ching Ho.
Not
Jimmy.
Jimmy proposes to Millie, and Millie says yes. And then once she says yes, he reveals that he is a rich guy. He is Dorothy's brother.
Oh my.
Dorothy's brother.
They're not Muzzy's.
Muzzy's kids.
They are Muzzy's kids in this.
In the movie they were.
In the movie
I don't
they were.
remember if they are in the musical.
I know. I was trying to figure that out.
I think they are. I think they're. Anyway, they're related. Because it's Muzzy Van Housen, and they are the Van Housen children. Like Vanderbilt Van Housen.
I do like in the
Children.
movie when Julie Andrews catches Carol Channing and Mary Tyler Moore going into James Fox's room, into Jimmy's room, and she's like, 2? And it's at the end, and that's the reveal. It's like after they fix everything, and she's like, 2?
So Dorothy is rescued by Ching Ho. Jimmy is actually a rich guy in disguise. So it turns out that Dorothy and Jimmy are Muzzy's kids. They were rich kids, but they were sent off into the world to find spouses that would love them for themselves and not for their money. And Jimmy finds Millie, and so, oh my God, turns out Green Glass Love is an emerald because the man got some money. So,
And it's not a metaphor.
and it's not a metaphor.
real.
She's like really,
Well, it's kind of a metaphor.
he's got emeralds. I'm like, he's got money.
It's like green glass could be emeralds if they're really in love, but
Yeah,
no, he actually
but
has
really, he
emeralds.
actually has emeralds because he's Jimmy Vanderbilt Van House, and anyway, he's got a lot of money. So Dorothy, we think in the movie, Dorothy ends up with Trevor Graydon. In the musical, Dorothy runs off with Ching Ho.
Wait.
Yes,
Oh fuck! This is like the wait, really.
Dorothy runs off with Ching Ho, who rescued her from white slavery.
I actually don't remember that part.
Oh, I do.
Oh my.
Oh, I do.
Oh my. Okay.
So then Dorothy ends up with Ching Ho, Jimmy ends up with Millie, and Millie ends up with Jimmy. Mrs. Mears ends up in jail.
Good.
Muzzy ends up happy because both of her children have found true love. Now, Trevor Graydon.
I was like, what happens with Graydon?
Trevor Graydon is like drunk and sad, but
Can't
Bun
relate.
Fu. Bun Fu can type 500 words a minute or 50 words a minute. So Bun Fu ends up working for Trevor Graydon as his new stenographer. So that's the happy story of Thoroughly Modern Millie. And
Oh my.
everybody gets a happy ending except Mrs. Mears, who was a goddamn lunatic.
I'm exhausted.
I'm really tired too.
I was like, I feel like we just tapped the whole show.
So I feel like we should have 5, 6, 7, 8. Everything today is thoroughly modern. Check your personality.
Wait, what's the finale?
Can't marry your boss after all. Who cares?
I found myself a green glass love.
Funny.
I found myself an emerald. Here's something that we did not stage, and I didn't realize it was a thing you're supposed to stage. After the bows, Bun Fu and Ching Ho are supposed to be reunited with their mothers. With their mother.
I don't remember if we did that either.
That needs to be a thing.
That's so cute.
If you do Thoroughly Modern Millie, after the bows, Bun Fu and Ching Ho need to be reunited with their mother.
So when we direct Thoroughly Modern Millie,
Which we will, eventually.
somewhere,
Somewhere.
produce us, patreon.com at Wines.
If you want to see us direct and produce Thoroughly Modern Millie, send us some money right now.
Right now.
I have a lot of ideas for production.
I have a lot of ideas for, yes.
Lots of different
Oh my gosh.
productions.
The fact that we both love this musical too is just...
Ugh. Killed me.
You know who would stage manage it?
Huh.
Regina. Drink.
Drink.
Anyway, that was good. Good job, Chelsea.
Thank you.
I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
I love Thoroughly Modern
My
Millie.
dramatic reading of Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh,
I have some,
sweet mystery of life at last I found.
I do have
thee.
some points I wanted to point out that I missed it. I missed earlier. Do you mind if I do that real fast?
Go for it.
It was directed by Michael Meyer, who went to the workshops in New York in 1999, which included Kristen Chenoweth and Mark Kudish and Beatrice Arthur. And when it opened, Kristen Chenoweth, she actually left not because of... She wasn't replaced by Sutton. She left because she was producing her sitcom.
Oh.
So she was actually replaced by Erin Dilly, but prior to public previews, Sutton actually took over, which this was the role that discovered Sutton Foster.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
That's why she's around. But the musical, it premiered on Broadway, the Marquis Theater, April 18th, 2002, and did not close until June 20th, 2004.
Wow.
So it had 903 performances and 32 previews.
Oh my god.
Right? I'm like, ugh, it's insane. But it was
Did
directed...
anybody replace Sutton, or did she do all of those?
So
She's my voice
she
type.
was replaced by, I love this, Susan Egan, Belle, and Meg from Hercules. Muzzy
Susan
was,
Egan.
I know, right? Muzzy was replaced with Leslie Uggams,
Mm-hmm.
Delta Burke and Dixie Carter as Mrs. Mears, Christian Borle as Jimmy, then Christopher Sieber as Trevor Graydon, and Liz McCartney as Miss Flannery. The Meredith Vieira from The View, she actually came on April 2nd, 2003. She's a talk show host from The View. So yeah, it's a great musical. I love it.
I love it too.
I love it so much.
For a lot of reasons. There's tap, there's belting, there's legit soprano action if you're a legit soprano and you need to work. Miss Dorothy is a fan-fucking-tastic role.
It is, yes.
You have to be able to hit a high C.
So if you want to follow us on social medias, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Wines and Dolls. You can also find us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/winesanddolls. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please go ahead and press that subscribe button. Maybe give us 5 stars. We like 5 stars. If you have any comments, concerns, ideas, love, no hate, you can email us at winesanddolls@gmail.com. And I think that's everything, Chelsea. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Emily.
And this is Wines and Dolls. Bye.